Diego, Monday just fought Saturday night.
Yes,
Walk us through how did it go? What was the result?
Man, Saturday night was a good night for us. We had Harry all the way across on the GC fighting, defending his belt, and then I myself was on the north side of Brisbane fighting for my fight there, the main event, headlining Beatdown Promotions. It was a good event. I felt relaxed all throughout the day. I had a good day that day. Just did my usual thing. I usually wake up, I do a little breathing meditation and visualization and just sort of gathering my thoughts and just visualizing everything that I'm going to approach and do that we've been working on. Go for a walk or run or whatever, have a bit of coffee, hang out, and get into the venue, the same thing. I was feeling very relaxed. I get there, I do my thing, I stretch, I warm up, and then we got done with that. I'm feeling very relaxed, and I feel like this was a time where I was more relaxed than usual. And it just like everything was feeling really, really nice, and then walked out there and was just very composed.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't get to the fight, unfortunately, but I watched it obviously, and even in there, like first round, looked like you're under a bit of pressure. You still seemed very relaxed.
Yeah.
There was no panic on your face. When I saw you walking out, you seemed calm, you seemed relaxed. Is that more relaxed than you've been in any other fights, or is that a pretty normal thing for you?
Yeah, look, I think the more I learn and grow in the sport, I learned that the best way to be is to be as relaxed as you can. Focused, but very, very relaxed. And that's how you can make those like split-second decisions that are useful, especially when you're under pressure, because the last thing you want is to panic, and though that first round I was under pressure and he had me in a bad spot, I'm very confident wherever this fight goes. In this game of mixed martial arts, we train the whole game every day here. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm well versed on the ground. I'm a black belt. So I was no stranger to anything that was trying to do to me. So that's where that confidence came from, for me to remain composed and just be able to come through.
To be honest, when I was watching, I was like, he's all good. It's obviously Diego coaches me. Training jiu-jitsu, and I'm a long way behind him, and I know how experienced he is, so I'm like, hey, he's safe. Were you ever worried at all? Because that body triangle was tight,
yeah.
And he did have you in some bad positions. Were you worried at all, or?
Man, listen, I was definitely like on high alert.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is a position that any little mistake can cost you, and I knew where I found myself in. I was just like, damn, I gotta deal with this, I can't rush. It's the first round, so good, I've got myself here, now I gotta get myself out. And I was just remaining composed and slowly trying to, inch by inch, trying to get my way out. But it's a position that you can't really escape quickly, because once you're trapped in it, it's called a triangle lock for a reason. It's like once the legs are around you, the legs are very strong, very difficult to open when somebody's unwilling.
Especially when they can punch you.
Exactly. And this guy was crafty. He was clearly, this position he was trying to put me in is called a twister. And he had 2 previous submissions with that same position. So I knew going into the fight, because I had watched his previous fights, I knew he was trying to set me up in the moment. So I knew where to position myself so that I didn't get further in trouble. Every time he tried to grab my head, I was releasing it because he was literally trying to twist me. With that position, he can really badly injure your spine. So I was really trying to make sure that I didn't, put myself in a worse position that I was in. And I was slowly trying to unravel that body triangle. And then, yeah, I felt slightly worried, but I wasn't in any danger in terms of, man, I'm gonna be finished here.
Yeah.
I was just strapped, and obviously, in that position, it's like it looks really bad. But for me, in that moment, I was extremely confident still. I was just biding my time, and I just felt within me, as soon as I get out of here, you're gonna find out. And then,
What about did that affect your gas tank? Like having anyone who's experienced being in that position before, getting it all sucked in, and that did it suck a lot of energy out of you, or you felt fine?
It can do, but listen, I feel like it all comes down to your training at the end of the day, to be honest. If you're well conditioned, you've trained yourself to be under those high stress situations, I think when it comes down to the moment, no matter what happens, you're provided you didn't take too much damage in terms of the actual punching and damage, getting cuts and things like that. The actual body triangle itself is not gonna be something that's gonna drain my gas tank. You know what I mean? I've trained for too long, so that in itself didn't really drain my gas tank. I feel like more than anything, the guy actually drained his gas tank trying to finish me because he was squeezing with everything he had, and also unleashed all the punches that he could to try to get me out of there. So, played to my advantage.
At any point along that fight, did you think you were going to get a stoppage? Were you looking for a stoppage? Because to me, it just looked like you wanted to show off your mixed martial arts skills. You wanted to show at the world that you were a very all-rounded fighter. Was that always the game plan, or would you, like, if you could do it again, would you have gone harder for a stoppage, or you're happy with the way that the fight panned out?
Yeah, look, before we walked out, Benny shared with me something that he said his coach Dan always told him about the lion as the hunter mentality. Okay, so our approach is, okay, we are gonna be the hunter. Okay, but in that sense, he said the lion never exposes his neck to the gazelle or to the threat, to the prey. And so in that sense, for us as the hunter, we don't want to expose ourselves in the pursuit of a finish. Whilst I was in a very dominant position from the second round onwards, and I had really good moments in that I could have finished him, I did try. I landed some big blows whenever he was trying to go for my legs. There was openings where his face was exposed. I landed some big blows. Yeah. But there were also times where he was just sneaking into my legs, and I felt like I could lose the position had I opened up too much. So my approach is always to establish the position first, position over submission, position over damage, position over the finish. So that way we can slowly explode and then slowly dominate and finish as it presents itself, because we still had more time on the clock. So I prioritized the position because I knew I maintain this, I'm winning, and slowly do damage, slowly break this guy down, and whenever the opportunity presents itself, I'll finish. So in that sense, I didn't want to expose myself, so I would otherwise have lost the position. So I prefer to stay and then just do damage over time, and then whenever this opportunity presents itself, I landed some big blows, and I felt like I could have gotten him out of there, but the time ran out. I think it was at the end of the second, the time ran out, and I just had him damaged and all sorts, and I felt like his life gave out, but the referee jumped in to finish the round.
Yeah. Now, when I was watching it, I was wondering, because I know that chat that Ben and Dan has, and I thought it might have been the same thing, and it actually really showed, like, I think for me personally, like as a fan of the sport and of you, it was like it really showed how smart of a fighter you are, because you just took what was there. You didn't get caught up in the moment where so many fighters do. You played a really smart game. It was really cool to see. So now that's like you're already ranked number one in Australia. What's your plan? Like, you got anything that you're hoping to do now? Or obviously, I know you had a fight with the Australian MMA guys after, and you said you just go back to the drawing board with the coaches, speak to Benny, see what the plan is. Do you have anything you're hoping for, or where you at with all that?
Well, look, the plan for me has always been to try to expose and showcase my skills in a global stage. Whether that's UFC, PFL, Bellator PFL, and some other promotion that's like global stage. And obviously, at the moment, we have PFL and UFC really at the top of that list. We were hearing that PFL might be coming to Australia next year. We have some good connections, my management team and all that. Are in close talks with them. So look, I'm the number one guy in the featherweight division. If they're looking for a featherweight, they cannot look past me. I'm on a 3-fight win streak. I've dominated the opposition. I'm ranked number one. I've fought the best guys in Australia. I've beaten some of the best guys in Australia, some of them who have gone into the UFC and all that. I'm ready. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm staying ready. I'm upskilling. I'm back in the gym. And whenever that call comes, I'll answer it.
Nice, man. And training, you back training to tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be back in tomorrow. I just came in just a little bit sore, so I'm just taking a couple of days to relax or whatever. But yeah, soon.
Very nice. Anything you want to say, man?
Look, yeah, I thank everyone for the support. Thank everyone for tuning in, and it's, as always, it's like Team TFC. We're getting after it, and TFC Global. That's where we at.
Taking over.
Let's
All right,
go.
let's go. Cheers, bro.